The cafe hummed gently with the murmur of voices. The steady chime of cutlery against plates mixed with the sharp hiss of steaming milk. Golden sunlight spilled through the wide glass panels, coating the polished tables with a warm glow. Caleb Foster sat opposite Vanessa Brooks, slowly drinking his black coffee. His expression was calm, patient, and resolute, a man who had already reached his decision. He knew Vanessa hadn't. She exhaled softly, her manicured fingers brushing the rim of her cappuccino cup. "I just need space to figure things out," she murmured, her voice almost pleading. But Caleb recognized the meaning beneath it. She wanted freedom to explore while keeping him waiting in the background. He didn't argue. He didn't beg. He simply leaned back, watching her with composed detachment. Her auburn hair framed a flawless face, her poise as confident as ever, carrying herself like someone who assumed Caleb would remain available until she was ready. 4 years that had been true. He had been the loyal one, the steady boyfriend who let her dictate the pace. But those days were over. He sipped again, savoring the bitterness before setting the cup down deliberately. "All right," he replied evenly. Vanessa blinked, surprised. "All right," she echoed, unsure. Caleb only shrugged. "Take all the time you need." Her lips parted, unease flickering in her dark eyes. She had expected protest, please, maybe even a dramatic gesture. Instead, Caleb gave her nothing. She leaned forward, folding her arms. "I mean, I don't want to end things. I just need options." "You don't want to settle too soon," Caleb finished for her. A faint blush touched her neck, though she raised her chin with defiance. "Exactly. I think it's only fair. I don't want regrets later." Caleb nodded, as if in agreement. Perhaps the younger version of him would have felt crushed. But at 32 he had learned a hard lesson. When people ask for freedom, they rarely expect you to actually give it. "I get it," he said, pulling out his phone. Vanessa's gaze sharpened as he tapped on the screen. A vibration buzzed on the table, her phone. She frowned and checked it. "You blocked me." Caleb drained his cup and rose smoothly. He placed a crisp $20 bill on the table, covering both drinks. "I'm giving you what you asked for," he said, sliding his wallet away. "All the time you want." Her eyes widened in disbelief. "You're seriously cutting me off? Just like that?" A faint smirk tugged at his lips, though his gaze stayed cold. "No hard feelings. But I don't compete for second place." Before Vanessa could speak, Caleb walked out, never looking back. She froze, staring at the empty seat he had left behind. For the first time she realized she may have gone too far. First she brushed it off. She convinced herself Caleb was only being dramatic. His little act wouldn't last. He was too reliable, too predictable. He always came back after an argument. So she waited. The first week passed. She kept checking her notifications, expecting a "hey" or a simple "thinking of you." Nothing. By the second week, irritation grew. She tried to view his profile, only to find "user not found." Alarmed, she checked Instagram, then Facebook. Blocked there too. She scoffed aloud. Was he really being this childish? By the third week, unease crept in. She started visiting places he frequented. The gym they once shared, the bar where he played pool. Caleb was absent. When she asked one of his friends casually, the man only shrugged. "Caleb. Haven't seen him much. Heard he's traveling." Traveling. That was new. Vanessa frowned as she scrolled through her backup Instagram account, the one he hadn't blocked. His page was public. A photo of him on a rooftop lounge, drink in hand. Another of him at a tropical beach, shirtless, sunglasses on, looking better than she remembered. He looked calm, confident, happier without her. Women commented, and Caleb responded. That unfamiliar twist in her chest made her uneasy. By the 5th week, desperation broke through. She dialed his number, half expecting voicemail. It rang twice before a robotic voice answered. "This number is no longer in service." Her chest tightened. This wasn't how it was supposed to unfold. Caleb was meant to move past his pride, to miss her, to chase after her again. But as she sat staring at the phone, realization dawned. Caleb wasn't coming back. For years, Vanessa had told herself she could always do better. She placed Caleb on hold, believing something greater awaited. But as weeks bled into months, reality set in. Mike, the smooth talker, turned out to be a shameless player. Tyler, sweet at first, lacked vision and drive. Each man failed her in ways Caleb never had. Only after losing him did she begin to notice the quiet consistency she had once taken for granted. The way Caleb always insisted on walking her home, even when she swore she didn't need him. The way he noticed her moods, showing up with a latte from her favorite cafe whenever she was stressed, without her asking. He never played games, never left her wondering where she stood. He was steady, dependable, always present, until he wasn't. By the third month, Vanessa couldn't keep lying to herself. Caleb wasn't coming back. At first, she convinced herself he was simply being stubborn, punishing her with silence to make a point. But beneath that fragile hope, she knew the truth. He was gone, and the thought terrified her. One evening, she sat in her apartment, staring down at her phone. The last message she'd sent still showed as delivered, unanswered. Earlier that day, she checked his profile and seen a new post. Caleb, dressed sharply in a tailored blazer at a rooftop restaurant. His arm draped casually around a woman. Not just anyone. Hannah Reid. Vanessa's stomach knotted as she tapped Hannah's page. She was strikingly beautiful, the kind of woman who didn't need filters or endless selfies to prove her worth. Her confidence radiated effortlessly. In the comments Hannah had written, "A night to remember." Caleb had replied, "More to come." Vanessa's throat tightened. He had never flaunted their relationship online. But with Hannah he was different. He was present. He was proud. Setting her phone aside, Vanessa rubbed her temples. Regret gnawed at her. She had been so certain Caleb would always wait in the background, ready whenever she decided. But now she was the one left behind. Her hands trembled as she typed, "Caleb, I miss you. Can we talk?" She stared at the screen, pulse racing, waiting for that typing bubble to appear. Never did. Minutes became hours. Nothing. The cold truth sank in. She had expected him to be her safety net, always there if her other choices failed. But now she was the one discarded. Vanessa had always been the one holding control. She decided when to respond, when to leave someone waiting, when to let them regret. But now, for the first time, she knew what it felt like to be forgotten. Hours passed. Then a day. Still silence. Pride told her to let it go, to pretend she hadn't reached out. But the ache in her chest refused. She needed to hear his voice, to somehow undo what she had broken. Scrolling through their old photos, she felt her throat close. Dinner dates, weekend trips, candid pictures of her laughing. Caleb had taken them all, not to post but to keep. He once said he liked holding on to the little things. Had he erased them? Had he erased her that easily? Before she could second-guess herself, she typed again, "Caleb, please. I just want to talk." This time the message flashed blue for a moment, then turned gray. Ignored. Her stomach dropped. He hadn't even hesitated. Panic spread through her. She tried Instagram again. His profile had vanished. She tried calling, the line didn't even ring. It was as if he had erased himself from her life completely. And yet she knew he hadn't disappeared. He was still out there, living, thriving, just without her. For the first time, Vanessa felt powerless. She had always believed she was irreplaceable, that men would wait around, orbiting her until she chose them. But Caleb had walked away cleanly, without hesitation, without looking back. Tears stung her eyes, but she forced them down. She wasn't the kind of woman who cried over a man. But Caleb had never been just any man. Now he was gone for good. The silence in her apartment pressed heavy on her chest. Outside, the city buzzed, car horns, laughter, chatter, but none of it reached her. All she could hear was the emptiness where Caleb once was. She never imagined it would end like this. Caleb wasn't supposed to move on first. He was supposed to linger until she realized what he meant. But 3 months later, the truth was undeniable. She wasn't in control anymore. She had tried everything: texts, calls, even asking mutual friends. Every response was the same. Caleb's doing great. He's traveling. He's dating someone new. He seems happier than ever. Happier than ever. The words pierced deeper than she cared to admit. One night, against her better judgment, she found herself parked outside their old bar, the place where Caleb always let her steal fries without complaint. Shame burned in her, but she needed to see him, just once, to prove he was really gone. And that's when she saw them. Caleb sat in the corner, arm resting comfortably around Hannah. She was laughing, her head tilted toward him, and he looked at her with that same soft focus he once saved only for Vanessa, as if she were the only person in the room, as if he was exactly where he belonged. Vanessa's stomach twisted, but she kept watching. Hannah wasn't trying too hard. She wasn't clinging to his arm, wasn't glancing around to see who noticed her. She was simply present, natural, at ease. And Caleb, he looked the same. Relaxed, confident, happy. The truth struck Vanessa like a blow. He wasn't coming back. He had given her all the space she'd asked for, just not in the way she imagined. He hadn't waited. He had let her go. And now, she had no one to blame but herself. Vanessa turned away before either of them could see her.